Every word you speak is a magic spell, casting either a curse or a blessing upon your life. For centuries, ancient traditions have spoken of the creative power of the voice, the ability to shape reality through sound, incantation, and declaration. This is not myth, it is a profound and practical truth. The life you are currently experiencing, your health, your relationships, and your bank account, is a direct echo of the words you have been habitually speaking. The question is, have you been a conscious magician? This book is your spellbook, your guide to mastering the verbal secrets of the law of attraction. It will teach you how to silence the old curses of lack and how to craft and speak the powerful blessings of abundance. Prepare to discover the divine, creative instrument that resides in your own throat and learn how to speak your most beautiful world into being. Speak it into being. The Verbal Secrets of the Law of Attraction, written and published by Success Attraction Formula. Chapter 1. The Creative Power of Your Voice. In the beginning of almost every great creation story humanity has ever told, there is a sound. A word is spoken into the void, a divine command is given, a sacred chant is intoned, and from that singular powerful vibration, a universe is born into magnificent existence. These ancient and sacred stories are not just primitive myths or charming allegories. They are profound metaphorical maps, pointing to a fundamental and often overlooked truth about the very nature of reality. The spoken word holds the power to create. In our modern, hurried world, we have been conditioned to believe that words are cheap, that they are just puffs of air we use to describe a reality that already exists, solid and unchangeable. But the greatest and most empowering secret, hidden in plain sight, is that your voice is not just a tool for description, it is a tool for divine creation. The words you speak are not passive echoes of your world. They are the active, vibrational seeds from which your world continuously and faithfully grows. This chapter is your introduction to the sacred and scientific power that resides within your own voice, a sleeping giant of creation waiting to be awakened with conscious and deliberate intent. To understand this creative power, we can look to the fascinating and beautiful field of cymatics. Cymatics is the study of how sound vibration directly affects and organizes physical matter. When scientists place a layer of sand, water, or other fine particles on a metal plate and then play a specific musical tone through the plate, something truly magical happens. The particles do not just shake around randomly. They instantaneously arrange themselves into beautiful, intricate, and perfectly ordered geometric patterns. A higher, more harmonious frequency creates a more complex, stable, and elegant pattern. A lower, dissonant frequency creates a simpler, less coherent, and often chaotic form. This is a stunning and irrefutable visual demonstration of a universal principle. Sound organizes matter. Now consider this with awe. Your voice is the most sophisticated, nuanced, and powerful sound instrument on the planet. Every word you speak, imbued with your unique intention and emotion, releases a complex and potent frequency into the world. If a simple single musical tone can bring exquisite order to a pile of inert sand, imagine what the complex and emotionally charged frequencies of your daily words are doing to the pliable, energetic field of quantum potential from which your life is formed. You can think of your spoken words as powerful, energetic tuning forks. When you strike a tuning fork of a specific note, any other tuning fork of the same note that is within range will begin to vibrate in what is called sympathetic resonance. It has no choice in the matter. It is a fundamental law of physics. When you repeatedly speak words of lack, frustration, and impossibility, "I'm so broke, this is never going to work, I can't catch a break," you are consistently striking a low-frequency, dissonant tuning fork. You are sending out a clear, unwavering vibrational signal of lack. The universe, which is a vast and responsive field of energy just waiting to resonate with a dominant signal, will obediently vibrate in harmony with you, bringing you more circumstances, people, and events that perfectly match the frequency of broke, not working, and no breaks. Conversely, when you learn to consciously and consistently speak words of gratitude, possibility, and success, "I'm so grateful for all the money I have. Everything is always working out for my highest good. I am a magnet for wonderful and profitable opportunities," you are striking a high-frequency, harmonious tuning fork. You are sending out a powerful and coherent signal of abundance, and the universe will begin to resonate with that clear signal, arranging the symphony of your life to match its beautiful and prosperous tone. Many ancient spiritual traditions understood this power implicitly. The concept of the sacred word, or mantra, in Hindu and Buddhist traditions is based on the understanding that certain sounds have the power to create specific states of consciousness and reality. The Christian tradition speaks of the creative power of the word and the importance of prayer and declaration, culminating in the powerful word, Amen, which means, so be it. Mystical traditions throughout history have used incantations and spells, all based on the belief that focused, spoken intent can influence the material world. What these traditions knew intuitively, modern physics is beginning to explain. At the quantum level, the universe is not a collection of solid things, but a field of infinite potential, a wave of possibilities. It is the act of focused observation and intention that collapses the wave into a specific particle or experience. Your spoken word, charged with your focus and feeling, is one of the most powerful tools of observation you possess. It is you, the creator, telling the field of potential which specific reality to collapse into form. The core challenge is that we have been completely unconscious of this incredible power. We have been walking through our lives like a person swinging a magical, creative hammer in the dark, wondering why our world often seems chaotic and broken. Consider the life of a man named Tom. He feels like his life is a constant uphill battle. His business is barely surviving, he feels chronically tired, and minor inconveniences always seem to escalate into major disasters. If we were to listen to Tom's everyday speech, we would discover that he is a master of the low-frequency broadcast. He starts his day by groaning, "I'm so exhausted, I dread this day." His voice itself has a whiny, defeated tone. In a business meeting, he says, "We'll probably lose this client. Things like this never seem to go our way." When a bill arrives, he sighs heavily and tells his partner, "Another bill. We're always just barely scraping by." Tom honestly believes his words are simply describing his pre-existing reality. He does not understand the devastating truth. His words and the defeated energy behind them are the very cause of that reality. He is speaking his world into being, moment by moment, with every pessimistic prediction and every worried complaint. To begin harnessing this power, you must first accept the profound premise that your voice matters on a cosmic scale. You must make the pivotal shift from seeing yourself as a powerless victim of circumstance to seeing yourself as a powerful vibrational creator. Your primary creative tool is the sound that comes from your own body, shaped by your own consciousness. This is an incredibly liberating realization. It means you do not need anything outside of yourself to begin to radically change your life. You do not need more money, more connections, or a better education to start. You only need to become conscious of the words you are choosing to speak right now, in this very moment. The first step is not to learn new words, but to simply become a mindful, non-judgmental listener of your own voice. For the next few days, pay attention to your speech as if you were a neutral, curious observer. Notice the tone you use. Notice the habitual reflexive phrases that you repeat without thought. Notice how your words make you feel in your own body. Do they make you feel expansive, hopeful, and powerful, or do they make you feel contracted, heavy, and weak? This simple act of dedicated listening is the beginning of you taking back your divine, creative authority. You are now aware of the immense and often untapped creative power that is vibrating in your own throat. You understand that your voice is not merely for communication, but for potent and undeniable creation. But before you can effectively use this power to build your desired reality, you must first stop using it to unconsciously demolish your dreams day after day. What are the common, everyday words and phrases of lack that are silently and systematically sabotaging your success, and how do you begin to silence them for good? In our next chapter, we will address this critical first step. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula. Give this video a like and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 2. Silencing your vocabulary of lack. Imagine you are a master gardener standing in a plot of the most fertile and magical soil on earth. You hold in your hand the most precious, high-potential seeds for a garden of magnificent, overflowing abundance. Each morning, with reverence and hope, you go out and lovingly plant a seed of desire for wealth, for vibrant health, for deep love, for creative fulfillment. But then immediately after planting this beautiful seed, you unknowingly pick up a watering can, filled not with pure, life-giving water, but with a subtle, slow-acting poison. You unconsciously douse your freshly planted seed with this poison, day after day, week after week, all the while wondering with genuine frustration why nothing beautiful ever grows in your garden. This poison is your vocabulary of lack. It is the vast collection of habitual, negative, pessimistic, and limiting words and phrases that we all use, often completely unconsciously, that directly contradicts, neutralizes, and cancels out our most cherished desires. Silencing this insidious vocabulary is the most critical and foundational act of weeding you will ever perform in the garden of your life. Before you can truly speak your new abundant world into being, you must first stop speaking your old unwanted world into continued, painful existence. The primary challenge in this essential process is that our vocabulary of lack is deeply ingrained and almost entirely reflexive. It is not something we consciously choose to speak in the moment. It is a deeply conditioned habit, a verbal reflex programmed by years of personal experience, family conditioning, and pervasive societal norms. Complaining about the weather, worrying aloud about the future, or making a self-deprecating joke about being broke are common forms of social currency. We often use this negative language to bond with others over shared struggles, to seem relatable and humble, or simply because we have never imagined that there is a different, more powerful way to speak. The first step in silencing this vocabulary is to accept, without reservation, the truth that these are not harmless words. Every single word that comes out of your mouth is an affirmation, a potent declaration to your subconscious mind and to the universe of what you believe to be true about yourself and your world. When you say, "I can't afford that," you are not just stating a temporary financial condition. You are casting a powerful spell of limitation upon yourself, reinforcing the identity and the reality of someone who can't. Worrying aloud is another form of this poison. When you constantly speak about what might go wrong, you are engaging in what can be called a verbal rehearsal for failure. You are using your powerful, creative imagination and your vibrational voice to practice and prepare for a negative outcome. You are instructing your subconscious mind to be on the lookout for evidence of that negative outcome, and you are sending a clear, albeit unconscious, order to the universe to bring you circumstances that match your worried expectation. To begin this silencing process, you must become a vigilant and loving guardian at the gate of your own mouth. A powerful practice to kickstart this new awareness is to undertake a verbal fast or a complaint cleanse for a full 24 hours. The rule is simple. For one entire day, you are not allowed to speak, or even to consciously entertain, a single negative, limiting, or complaining word or thought about your finances, your health, your job, your relationships, or yourself. This challenge is far more difficult than it sounds, and it will be profoundly revealing. You will suddenly become acutely aware of how often your default conversation, both internal and external, is oriented around what's wrong. You will catch yourself mid-sentence about to complain about traffic and have to consciously stop yourself. To make this practice more effective, you can use a pause, pivot, praise technique. When you catch the urge to complain, first pause, take a breath. Second, pivot. Find a neutral or positive way to reframe the situation. Instead of "the traffic is horrible," you can pivot to "I'm grateful my car is getting me safely to my destination." Third, praise. Find something, anything, in that moment to genuinely praise or appreciate. And I love the song playing on the radio right now. This technique doesn't just silence the negative, it actively replaces it with a higher frequency. Let's identify some of the most toxic and common phrases on our verbal hit list so you can become more aware of them. The phrase "I can't" is perhaps the most disempowering in any language. It is a declaration of complete helplessness. The moment you say it, your brilliant, creative mind stops looking for solutions. Other common phrases that poison your garden include, "It's impossible," "I'm so broke," "I'm worried that," "That's too expensive," "I never get what I want," "It's not fair," and "This is a disaster." These are not just phrases, they are heavy, energetic anchors that hold you in a low-frequency state of victimhood and powerlessness. The words try and hope are also subtle but powerful forms of lack. When you say, "I'll try to finish the project," it implies the built-in expectation of failure. When you say, "I hope I get the job," it implies a lack of control and a deep uncertainty. These words signal to the universe that you are not truly committed or confident in your own creative power. Consider the story of a woman named Sarah who decides to undertake the 24-hour verbal fast. In the first hour, she is absolutely shocked. She catches herself about to complain about her slow computer, about how tired she feels, and about a bill she has to pay. Each time she pauses and chooses silence instead. At her workplace, her colleagues start their usual complaining session in the break room. Instead of joining in to bond over negativity, Sarah simply listens, smiles, and says, "Well, I'm sure we'll find a creative solution." This feels awkward at first. She realizes how much of her social interaction has been built around the foundation of shared struggle. By the end of the day, she is exhausted from the sheer vigilance, but she also feels a strange and new sense of peace, spaciousness, and power. She realizes that by not watering the weeds of lack with her words all day, she has an incredible surplus of mental and emotional energy. The silence she has created feels clean, potent, and full of pure potential. This practice is not about becoming an inauthentic, overly positive person who denies reality. If a real challenge arises, you can and should address it, but you must learn to do so with neutral, solution-oriented language. Instead of saying, "This is a disaster, I'm going to lose everything," you can say, "Okay, this is the current situation. What is the next logical, inspired step I can take to move toward a positive and successful resolution?" This is the powerful language of a creator, not the helpless language of a victim. It acknowledges the situation without giving it the destructive power of a negative emotional charge and a disempowering label. Silencing your vocabulary of lack is the foundational act of taking back your power. You are starving the weeds in your garden and lovingly tilling the soil. You are creating a pristine and fertile space for new, beautiful seeds to be planted. You are now learning the crucial art of weeding out the poisonous words of lack from your beautiful verbal garden. As you practice this, you will create a new and profound silence, a space that feels clean, open, and full of exhilarating potential. But what do you plant in this newly cleared and fertile soil? What are the potent, life-affirming, and magnetic words that make up the sacred vocabulary of abundance itself? In our next chapter, we will learn this powerful and life-changing lexicon. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 3. Learning the Lexicon of Abundance. Imagine deciding to learn a beautiful, vibrant, and expressive new language like Italian or French. In the beginning, your efforts are conscious and sometimes clumsy. You have to deliberately think about every single word, mentally translate it from your native tongue, and carefully consider the rules of grammar. But with consistent, joyful practice and deep immersion, something truly magical begins to happen. You start to think in the new language. You begin to dream in it. It stops being a foreign code you are effortfully deciphering and becomes a natural, fluid, and instinctual part of your own self-expression. Learning the lexicon of abundance is exactly like this. Having made the firm commitment to silencing the harsh, restrictive, and monotonous language of lack, your next joyful task is to immerse yourself completely in the beautiful, expansive, and melodic language of abundance until it becomes your new native tongue. This chapter is your personal phrasebook and your immersive language course. It is about learning, practicing, and ultimately embodying the specific words, phrases, and linguistic structures that resonate at the high, creative frequency of prosperity, success, and unlimited possibility. The core challenge in this phase is that simply not speaking lack is not enough to transform your reality. Nature, especially human nature, abhors a vacuum. If you only silence the negative vocabulary without consciously replacing it, the old, deeply grooved habits of negative speech can easily creep back in to fill the void. You must consciously and deliberately replace the old vocabulary with a new, powerful, and positive one that feels authentic, exciting, and deeply empowering to you. This is not about pasting generic positive words on top of a negative or neutral feeling. It is about choosing specific, high-vibration words that genuinely lift your energy, expand your sense of what is possible, and align you with the creative power of the universe. The lexicon of abundance is a rich and nuanced vocabulary of power, possibility, gratitude, and certainty. Let's begin by exploring some of the most potent power words of abundance. These are words that, in their very essence, carry an inherently high energetic vibration. Words such as limitless, prosperous, thriving, expanding, overflowing, radiant, magnificent, effortless, flowing, grateful, appreciative, joyful, certain, divine, inspired, aligned, sovereign, free, generous, well-supplied. Start to consciously and playfully sprinkle these words into your daily self-talk and your conversations with others. Instead of saying your day was fine or okay, you could say it was a day of effortless flow or a day filled with joyful moments. Instead of saying your business is doing okay, you could confidently state, my business is in an exciting and prosperous phase of expansion. Notice how these words feel in your body and your spirit when you say them. They create an immediate feeling of openness, confidence, and possibility. They are the vocabulary of a conscious creator who is in a joyful and collaborative partnership with a generous universe. A fundamental principle of this new language is learning to speak from the end result. The language of lack is perpetually focused on the struggle of the journey and the distance to the goal. It says, I'm trying to start a business, or I'm hoping to get out of debt. This language is weak, filled with uncertainty, and focused on the current state of lack. The lexicon of abundance, however, speaks from the confident perspective of the desire already being a reality, or in the certain and inevitable process of becoming one. It is a language of bold and joyful declaration. Instead of I'm trying to start a business, you would declare with a smile, I am in the exciting process of building my successful and impactful enterprise. Instead of I'm hoping to get out of debt, you can confidently affirm, I am moving into a state of complete financial freedom, sovereignty, and solvency. This is not a lie or a delusion. It is a powerful declaration of your chosen direction and your unwavering faith in the outcome. You are linguistically and vibrationally placing yourself in the reality you wish to experience, which is the fastest way to call it forth. Another key part of this new lexicon is learning to use what can be called generous language. A mind steeped in lack is often competitive and comparative. It sees the success of others as a threat. The language of lack, therefore, includes envy, gossip, and criticism. The lexicon of abundance, however, is inherently generous. It comes from the core belief that there is more than enough success and happiness to go around. Generous language involves celebrating the successes of others as if they were your own. When a friend gets a promotion, instead of feeling a pang of envy, you train yourself to say with genuine enthusiasm, that is magnificent. I am so thrilled for you. That is proof of the wonderful abundance available to us all. This act of generous speech does two things. It makes you a joy to be around, and it sends a powerful signal to the universe that you believe in a world of plenty, which makes you a perfect candidate to receive more plenty yourself. Freely complimenting others, speaking words of encouragement, and sharing credit are all high-frequency linguistic acts. Let's revisit the story of Sarah, who is now consciously silencing her old vocabulary of lack. Her next step is to actively practice her new lexicon. In the morning, instead of thinking, I have so much to do, she stands in front of the mirror, smiles, and says, I am grateful for this new day, and I am filled with a radiant and vibrant energy to move through all my activities with ease and grace. At work, when she is asked to lead a new, challenging project, instead of feeling overwhelmed, she tells her team, this is a magnificent opportunity for us to create something truly innovative. I have absolute certainty in our ability to succeed. When she speaks about her dream of traveling, she stops saying, if I ever get to go to Italy, and starts saying, when I go to Italy, I will. This subtle but profound shift from if to when is a cornerstone of the lexicon of abundance. It is a shift from wishing to knowing. As she continues this practice, her entire energetic state begins to lift. She feels more confident, optimistic, and creative, which naturally begins to attract more positive experiences and opportunities into her life. As you immerse yourself in this new language, your brain will literally begin to form new neural pathways. You will be rewiring your mind to see, think, and speak from a baseline of abundance rather than lack. What was once a conscious and deliberate effort will become your new, automatic, and natural way of being. You will begin to think and dream in the language of possibility. Your words will stop being a mere reflection of your current circumstances and will become the powerful creative force that consciously and deliberately shapes your future circumstances. You are now building a powerful new vocabulary, learning the very lexicon that the universe understands and responds to with absolute delight. You are moving from speaking the language of the problem to fluently speaking the language of the solution and the fulfilled desire. But how do you arrange these potent and beautiful words into sentences and declarations so powerful, so clear, and so resonant that they act as direct, irresistible commands to your subconscious mind and to the creative forces of reality itself? In our next chapter, we will learn the precise art of crafting these magical and life-changing commands. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 4. Crafting Your Irresistible Spoken Commands. A properly and consciously crafted spoken declaration is the most powerful creative tool in the known universe. It is a focused, laser-like beam of coherent energy that brings beautiful, divine order to the chaotic field of infinite possibility. It is a direct and undeniable command to your own subconscious mind, and a clear, resonant order placed with the universal forces that skillfully organize energy and matter around your stated intention. Many people have tried using affirmations with inconsistent or disappointing results, often concluding that the practice itself is flawed. The problem, however, is rarely with the ancient principle of declaration, but with the clumsy and unconscious construction of the command. A weak, vague, future tense, or negatively phrased affirmation is like a dull, unfocused tool. It cannot shape reality with any degree of precision or power. Crafting an irresistible spoken command is both an art and a science. It is about understanding the specific linguistic and energetic ingredients that make a declaration not just a hopeful, timid wish, but a potent, world-shaping, mountain-moving directive. This chapter is your personal guide to the precise anatomy of a perfect and powerful spoken command. To understand how this works, think of your subconscious mind as a vast, dark, and incredibly fertile field of soil. It is unconditionally accepting and completely non-judgmental. It will grow whatever seed you plant in it without question. It will grow a beautiful rose or a toxic weed with the exact same impersonal efficiency. Your conscious, spoken commands are the seeds you are planting in this fertile soil. A well-crafted command is like a high-quality, non-GMO, divinely encoded seed that is guaranteed to sprout into a healthy and magnificent plant. A poorly crafted command is like a dud seed, or worse, a seed for a weed you do not want. Therefore, crafting your commands with care and precision is the most important work a conscious creator can do. The first and most fundamental rule is that your command must be stated in the present tense. Your subconscious mind and the creative energy of the universe operate only in the eternal, creative moment of now. The past is a memory, and the future is a concept. The only point of power you ever have is right now. When you craft a command in the future tense, such as, I will be wealthy, you are planting a seed for future wealth. Your subconscious mind understands this perfectly and will work to always keep wealth in your future, forever just around the corner, but never in your present moment reality. You are, in effect, affirming the state of becoming, not the state of being. To make your command irresistible, you must use the two most powerful creative words in the English language. I am. The phrase, I am, is a direct declaration of being, a statement of current, existing reality to your subconscious mind. Instead of "I will be wealthy," the powerful present tense command is "I am a wealthy, prosperous, and abundant being." This is not a lie. It is a declaration of a higher spiritual truth you are choosing to embody and manifest in your physical reality now. The second critical component is that your command must be phrased in the positive. Your subconscious mind does not effectively process negatives like not, don't, or no. It focuses on the primary subject and image of the sentence. If you declare, "I don't want to be in debt anymore," the subconscious mind primarily hears and visualizes the word debt. You are inadvertently pouring your precious creative energy and focus into the very thing you are trying to eliminate, which, by the law of attraction, can only bring you more of it. You must always state with clarity and passion what you do want, not what you don't want. The irresistible positive reframe of that command would be, "I am enjoying complete and total financial freedom," or "I am joyfully living in a state of ever-expanding surplus and solvency." These commands focus all of your potent energy on the desired outcome, sending a clear, singular, and unambiguous signal to the universe. The third, and perhaps most vital, ingredient is emotional charge. The words of your command are the physical vehicle, the arrow, but the feeling you imbue them with is the powerful bowstring that sends the arrow flying toward its target. A spoken command that is recited mindlessly, robotically, with no feeling behind it, has very little creative power. Your command must be a statement that genuinely excites you, uplifts you, and makes you feel good right now. It should evoke the feeling frequency of your desire already being fulfilled. This is why adding an emotional prefix to your "I am" statements can be so powerful. Phrases like, "I am so happy and grateful now that," or "it feels so wonderful and natural to be," immediately infuse the declaration with the high-frequency energies of joy and gratitude. For example, the command "I am rich" might feel a bit stark or even unbelievable at first, creating internal resistance. But the command "I am so happy and grateful now that money flows to me in increasing quantities from multiple expected and unexpected sources on a continuous basis for the good of all" is more descriptive, lyrical, and is designed to naturally evoke a feeling of joyful, easy flow. The fourth element is a delicate balance between specificity and brevity. Your command needs to be specific enough for your subconscious mind to have a clear target, but not so long and convoluted that it loses its punch and its emotional resonance. A command that is too vague, like "I am abundant," is good, but it can often be made more powerful. A command that is too specific and rigid about the how, when, and where, such as "I receive exactly 10,050.75 cents from a winning lottery ticket on Tuesday," can severely limit the infinite ways in which the universe can deliver your desire. The sweet spot is to be very specific about the essence and the feeling of the desire, while leaving the logistical details open to the universe. A beautifully balanced command might be, "I am a magnet for brilliant, poor, creative ideas and profitable opportunities that allow me to joyfully earn over $200,000 a year in ways that are for the good of all and in perfect harmony with the universe." This command is specific about the income level and the joyful nature of the work, but it is beautifully open to how those opportunities will appear. By mastering these four elements, present tense, positive phrasing, emotional charge, and the balance of specificity, you move from being a hopeful wisher to a powerful commander of your energy. You are learning to plant the highest quality seeds in the fertile soil of your mind, seeds that are destined to grow into a magnificent reality. You now possess the foundational formula for crafting the perfect, potent spoken command. You have the architectural blueprint for arranging the powerful words from your new lexicon of abundance into declarations that are clear, resonant, and irresistible to the creative forces of reality. You have the words, but what is the secret, invisible ingredient that truly ignites these words and turns them from a mere sentence into a world-shaping, mountain-moving force? It lies not just in what you say, but in the unshakable, resonant conviction with which you say it. In our next chapter, we will explore this vital art of speaking with certainty. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 5. Speaking with the Feeling of Certainty. Imagine two people standing side by side, both about to shoot an arrow at a distant target. They are given the exact same powerful command to speak aloud. This arrow will fly true and strike the very center of the target. The first person takes a shallow breath, looks at the target with a hopeful gaze, and says the words, but their voice is hesitant, tinged with a subtle question mark. Their shoulders are slumped in a posture of wishing, not knowing. Their words are a hopeful prayer sent out into the void. The second person takes a deep, grounding breath, their eyes fixed on the center of the target with a calm, unwavering focus. They speak the same words, not loudly, but with a deep, resonant, and unshakable tone of conviction. Their voice is not a request, it is a declaration of a fact that has already occurred in their mind and spirit. It is a command. Which arrow do you believe has a greater chance of hitting the target? The words they spoke were identical, but the vibrational energy, the feeling of certainty that fueled them, was worlds apart. This is the ultimate secret ingredient that transforms a simple sentence into a world-shaping, reality-bending force. The universe responds not just to the words you speak, but to the feeling, the conviction, and the unshakable certainty that you infuse into them. You now possess the architectural blueprint for crafting the perfect spoken command. You have the words, you understand the critical importance of speaking in the present tense, of being positive, and of being specific in your essence. But the words themselves, no matter how perfectly crafted, are just the physical vehicle, the beautifully fletched arrow. The feeling of certainty is the powerful, elastic bowstring that stores and releases the immense energy required to send that arrow flying with unstoppable momentum toward its intended target. The primary challenge that so many people face, the reason their affirmations feel like empty, frustrating repetitions, is a profound vibrational mismatch. They speak a high-frequency command, such as, "I am wealthy and prosperous," while their body, steeped in years of conditioning, is simultaneously screaming a low-frequency reality of doubt, fear, and deeply ingrained lack. This creates a confusing, contradictory, and ultimately neutralized signal. It is like trying to drive a high-performance car with one foot pressed firmly on the accelerator and the other foot slammed down just as hard on the brake. To make your commands truly and irresistibly potent, you must learn the sacred art of aligning your emotional state with your verbal declaration. You must learn to speak from the absolute feeling of the wish already fulfilled. This is where you must become a method actor for abundance. A great method actor doesn't just memorize and recite their lines. They go deeper. They do the internal work to generate the authentic emotions of the character they are playing. When they deliver a line expressing joy or sorrow, they are not pretending. They are genuinely feeling that emotion, and the audience can feel the authenticity. You must become a method actor for the successful, wealthy, and joyful version of yourself. Before you speak your lines, your powerful commands, your work is to generate the authentic emotions of the character who is already living that reality. To do this, you can create a feeling finder exercise. Find a quiet space and take out your journal. Make a list of times in your past when you felt an overwhelming sense of success, joy, love, or profound peace. It could be the moment you graduated, the day you met your partner, a time you received an award, or even a simple, perfect moment watching a sunset. Choose one of these memories, close your eyes and step back into it with all your senses. Relive it. Most importantly, notice the physical sensations of that positive emotion. Where did you feel the joy in your body? Was it a warmth in your chest? A feeling of lightness in your limbs? A smile pulling effortlessly at your lips? An expansive feeling behind your eyes? This physical sensation is the signature of certainty and fulfillment. Once you have generated this tangible feeling of certainty from a past success, you then carry that emotional state forward into your present declaration. You are, in essence, borrowing the proven feeling of past success to fuel your future creation. You are reminding your own body and its cellular memory what it feels like to achieve a goal and to live in a state of fulfillment. Now, from this state of calm, embodied conviction, you speak your command for your current desire. When you declare, "I am so happy and grateful that I am now living in my magnificent dream home," you are not just saying empty words. You are speaking them on the same emotional frequency, with the same bodily sensations of certainty that you felt when you received that past award or achieved that past goal. This perfect congruence between your words and your feelings is what creates a coherent, laser-like, powerful, and undeniable signal that the universe can easily read and must respond to. Let's revisit the story of Alex, who is crafting a command to attract a new car. He has the perfectly crafted words, "I am so grateful that I am now driving my perfect, safe, and reliable new car." But when he says it, he feels a familiar knot of disbelief in his stomach. His command is weak and falls flat. He feels like he is lying to himself. He decides to try this method-acting approach. He sits down and remembers the feeling he had years ago when he finally paid off his student loans, a goal he had worked long and hard for. He remembers the profound sense of relief, the feeling of freedom, of accomplishment, of absolute certainty that his disciplined effort had paid off. He lets that powerful feeling of "it is done" fill his entire body, from his head to his toes. Then, while holding that victorious, liberated feeling, he speaks his command about the car. This time, the words are not just words. They are infused with the resonant, proven energy of his past success. He speaks them with a calm smile, feeling the same sense of earned satisfaction that he felt on the day he became debt-free. He is no longer wishing for a car. He is declaring its arrival from a state of being that has already known profound victory and fulfillment. This practice of speaking with the feeling of certainty is the bridge that carries you from the land of hope to the land of faith. Hope is a beautiful starting point, but it always contains an element of doubt, a separation between you and your desire. Faith, on the other hand, is a state of being, a deep and resonant knowing that your desire is already a completed fact in the energetic spiritual realm, and its appearance in the physical realm is merely a formality, a matter of divine timing. Your spoken commands, when charged with this deep, resonant, and embodied feeling of faith and certainty, cease to be mere requests or pleas. They become powerful, self-fulfilling prophecies that you yourself are destined to bring into glorious being. You now know how to craft the perfect words for your command, and you understand the absolutely critical importance of charging those words with the unstoppable, resonant energy of certainty. You have the arrow, and you now have the powerful bowstring. But how do you integrate this potent practice into the very fabric of your daily life, so that it becomes an automatic, effortless, and joyfully consistent habit of creation? What does a daily ritual of declaration look like? One that consistently and powerfully aligns you with the frequency of abundance every single morning. In our next chapter, we will build this sacred and life-changing routine together. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 6. Your Daily Ritual of Declaration. Imagine a master archer preparing for a great kingdom-wide tournament. She does not simply show up on the day of the competition, pick up her bow for the first time in months, and hope for the best. That is the path of an amateur. The master archer engages in a sacred and disciplined ritual every single morning at the break of dawn. She walks to her quiet practice range, takes a deep and centering breath that stills her mind, feels the familiar and powerful weight of the bow in her hand, and releases a series of arrows toward the distant target. She does this not because she is unskilled, but precisely because she is a master. She knows that consistency is the mother of all mastery. This daily ritual hones her focus, strengthens her muscles, quiets her mind, and solidifies the deep, instinctual, and unbreakable connection between her eye, her arm, her breath, and the target. Your creative power, expressed through your voice, works in exactly the same way. Speaking a powerful command once when you feel inspired is a good start, but integrating it into a consistent, devoted, daily ritual is what transforms you from an amateur wisher into a master creator. This chapter is about crafting your own personal, sacred, daily ritual of declaration, a practice that will powerfully align your energy every single morning and set the creative tone for your entire unfolding day. The primary purpose of a daily ritual is to create a consistent and deliberate habit of energetic alignment. Your mind and your energy are like a rich and fertile garden. If left untended, even for a short time, the opportunistic weeds of doubt, worry, societal negativity, and old conditioning will quickly and silently take over. Your daily ritual of declaration is the conscious and loving act of tending to your inner garden each and every morning. You are proactively pulling out the nascent weeds of lack and deliberately planting the beautiful, vibrant seeds of your desired reality before the chaos, demands, and distractions of the outside world have a chance to interfere. The first hour of your day is the most fertile and receptive time for this planting. The reason for this lies in the state of your brainwaves. As you awaken, your brain gently transitions from the deep delta and theta waves of sleep into the relaxed, creative alpha state, before moving into the more alert beta state of normal waking consciousness. This alpha state is a magical window of opportunity where the gateway to your powerful subconscious mind is most open and receptive to new programming. What you impress upon your subconscious mind during this golden hour will significantly influence your thoughts, your feelings, your intuitive guidance, and the events of the day ahead. Creating your ritual does not need to be complicated, rigid, or time-consuming. In fact, simplicity, joy, and consistency are far more important than complexity and duration. The first element is creating a sacred space. This does not need to be an entire room or a fancy altar. It can be a small, clean, and quiet corner of your home that you dedicate solely to this practice. It could be a comfortable chair by a window, a small table with a single candle and a plant, or simply a cushion on the floor. The key is that this space becomes energetically associated in your mind with peace, focus, and your own creative power. You can enhance this space with items that represent abundance to you: a healthy green plant, a bowl of coins, an image that inspires you. The simple act of decluttering and beautifying this small space is itself a declaration to the universe that you are making room for more good. When you enter this space each morning, you are signaling to your mind and body that it is time to connect with your highest self. The second element is committing to a sacred time. As mentioned, the most effective time for this ritual is first thing in the morning, before you check your phone, before you read the news, and before you engage with the demands of anyone else's agenda. Even just 10 to 15 minutes of focused, uninterrupted intention during this golden hour can be more powerful than hours of scattered, half-hearted effort later in the day. You are claiming the first fruits of your day's energy and attention for your own spiritual and creative nourishment. This powerful act of prioritizing your inner world above all else sends a profound message of self-worth to your own subconscious and a clear signal of serious intent to the universe. The third and most important element is the sacred practice itself. Once you are settled in your sacred space at your sacred time, you can begin your declarations. Start by taking several deep, centering breaths to quiet your mind and bring your awareness fully into the present moment. Then, spend a minute or two generating the feeling of certainty as you learned in the previous chapter. Reconnect with that powerful, embodied feeling of your desire already being a reality. From this aligned, high-frequency state, begin to speak your irresistible commands aloud. Speak them not as if you are mindlessly reciting a grocery list, but as if you are giving the most important speech of your life to an audience of one, the universe itself. Stand up if it helps you feel more powerful. Let the words resonate in your chest. Feel the palpable vibration of your own powerful voice filling the room and the space around you. To make this ritual even more complete, you can bookend your day. While the morning ritual is for planting the seeds of intention, a brief evening ritual is for watering them with gratitude. Before you go to sleep, return to your sacred space for just a few minutes. Your task here is not to ask for more, but to give thanks. Review your day and find any evidence, no matter how small, that your declarations are beginning to manifest. Give genuine, heartfelt thanks for these signs. Then express gratitude for the full manifestation as if it has already occurred. Finally, release your desire to the universe, trusting that it will work on the creative details while you sleep peacefully. This evening ritual closes the creative loop of your day, replacing worry with gratitude and trust. This consistent, daily ritual becomes your anchor in a chaotic world. It is your foundation. It is your non-negotiable act of self-love and your most potent creative act. It builds what can be called energetic momentum. The more you practice, the easier it becomes to maintain your high frequency throughout the day, the louder and clearer your signal becomes, and the more quickly the universe will respond to your unwavering broadcast. Your daily ritual is now powerfully shaping your energy and your reality every single morning. You are becoming the master archer, hitting your target with ever-increasing consistency and grace. But what happens when you face a huge, seemingly immovable obstacle on your path? A mountain of debt, a major career setback, or a deep-seated, recurring fear that feels as solid as rock? How do you use the focused power of your voice, not just to attract good things into your life, but to command the very mountains in your way to dissolve and move? In our next chapter, we will learn this advanced and truly liberating application of your verbal power. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 7. Speaking to the mountains in your way. You were not born into this life to painfully climb, with bleeding hands and exhausted spirit, every single mountain of struggle that appears in your path. You were born with the innate, divine, and often forgotten power to command them to move. This may sound like a radical, audacious, and perhaps unbelievable claim, but it is a deep spiritual truth that has been echoed through the ages in various sacred texts and mystical traditions, which speak of having faith that can move mountains. The mountains in our lives, the seemingly insurmountable obstacles like a mountain of debt, a frightening health diagnosis, a major and unexpected career setback, or a deep-seated, paralyzing fear that feels as solid and permanent as granite, are not, from an energetic perspective, the solid, permanent fixtures of our reality they appear to be. They are simply dense, slow-moving, low-frequency patterns of energy that have been solidified and magnified by our own persistent focus, fear, and belief in their power over us. The profound secret that masters of creation understand is that any low-frequency energy pattern, no matter how solid and imposing it appears, must and will yield to a higher, more coherent, and more powerfully focused frequency. Your focused, certain, and divinely inspired voice is that higher frequency. This chapter is about learning how to use your voice, not just to attract your desires, but to speak directly to your challenges with authority and command them to dissolve into the nothingness from which they came. The first and most critical step in this powerful and advanced practice is to radically change your relationship with the obstacle itself. When faced with a massive, threatening problem, our conditioned human response is almost always fear. We see the mountain looming over us, we immediately feel small, helpless, and powerless in its giant shadow, and we instinctively go into a low-frequency state of panic, resistance, and victimhood. We fight it, we worry about it incessantly, we complain about it to anyone who will listen, and we give it all of our precious creative energy and focus. This common reaction is like trying to put out a raging fire by spraying it with gasoline. The intense, fearful energy of your resistance and worry only feeds the mountain, making it appear even larger, more solid, and more permanent in your reality. To speak to your mountain effectively, you must first approach it from a place of calm, centered power, not panic. You must make the pivotal shift from being the victim of the mountain to being the sovereign, conscious creator of the reality in which the mountain currently appears. This requires you to stand before your challenge, either literally or in your mind's eye. Take a deep, grounding breath and acknowledge its presence without giving in to the cascade of fear it typically inspires. You must see the mountain for what it truly is, not a punishment, not a permanent roadblock, and not a verdict on your worth, but simply an energy pattern that has manifested in your experience and is now presenting you with an opportunity to claim your creative power. You can do this by looking at your problem, whether it's a stack of intimidating bills or a negative medical report, and saying, calmly and clearly with a steady voice, I see you. I acknowledge your presence in my reality right now. But I am no longer afraid of you, and I am no longer giving you my power. You do not define me. This simple act of neutral, fearless acknowledgement is profoundly powerful. It stops you from feeding the problem with the volatile energy of your fear and immediately establishes you as the conscious, spiritual authority in the situation. Once you have established this state of calm, centered power, you can then engage in the sacred act of speaking directly to the mountain. This is a focused, intentional declaration aimed not at the universe in general, but at the specific energy pattern of the obstacle itself. You are commanding the energy to transform, to break apart, to yield to a higher order. The structure of this command is important. First, you name and acknowledge the mountain. Second, you deny its ultimate power over you and your reality. Third, you command it to dissolve or transform into its divine and perfect opposite. For example, if you are facing a large amount of debt, you could gather all your bills, hold them in your hand, and speak to them directly as if they were a single entity. You might say with a firm, clear, and certain voice, "Mountain of debt, I speak directly to you. I acknowledge your presence. Your appearance in my life is temporary. Your power over me is an illusion that I now dissolve with the power of my word. I command you to be transformed into a magnificent mountain of surplus, cash flow, and overflowing abundance. Where there was lack, there is now only ever-expanding prosperity. You are dissolved, you are transformed, it is done." Another powerful technique for transforming these dense energies is to apply the healing frequency of love and gratitude, adapted from the Hawaiian practice of Ho'oponopono. This involves taking 100% responsibility for the energy pattern appearing in your reality and speaking to it with profound compassion. You can look at your mountain of fear or lack and lovingly say the 4 phrases, "I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you." "I'm sorry" acknowledges your part in creating or allowing this energy. "Please forgive me" is a plea for forgiveness from the divine within yourself. "Thank you" expresses gratitude for the lesson the mountain has brought you. And "I love you" is the ultimate, highest frequency statement of transformation. It sends the vibration of love directly into the heart of the fear-based energy, and love is the most powerful solvent in the universe for any low-frequency pattern. Speaking these words with genuine feeling can miraculously soften and dissolve even the most stubborn-seeming obstacles. This is an advanced practice that requires you to have cultivated a strong foundation of belief and certainty from the previous chapters. It requires you to step fully and unapologetically into your identity as a powerful creator, a true magician of your own reality. You must speak not from a place of hoping it will work, but from a deep and resonant place of knowing that it is a universal law. Your word, when spoken from a place of aligned, unwavering faith, is the most powerful transformative force in your reality. You have the ability not just to attract what you want, but to lovingly and powerfully transform what you do not want, turning every obstacle into an opportunity and every mountain into a miracle. You have now learned to speak to and compassionately dissolve the mountains of lack and limitation that once stood in your way. Your power as a conscious, verbal creator is becoming solidified, undeniable, and deeply integrated. What, then, does the final stage of this profound mastery look like? What happens when your alignment is so complete, so natural, so instantaneous, and so profound that there is no longer any separation at all between what you say and what you immediately see manifest in your world? In our final main chapter, we will explore this ultimate and most beautiful state of being. Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 8. When your word becomes your world. Imagine a master composer sitting at a grand piano in an enchanted, light-filled concert hall. This is no ordinary instrument, and this is no ordinary reality. The moment a note is played, it does not just create a fleeting sound, it instantly and effortlessly manifests a corresponding physical reality. When the composer plays a joyful, soaring, and expansive melody, the hall immediately fills with brilliant sunlight, fragrant flowers bloom instantly from the floorboards, and the very air itself shimmers with a visible, golden light of pure joy. When a deep, resonant, and grounding chord is struck, a foundation of unshakable peace and profound stability settles over the entire space. The composer does not have to struggle, they do not have to hope, and they do not have to ask or plead. They simply decide which reality they wish to experience in that moment, and they express it through their chosen instrument. Their music is their world. This is not a far-fetched, unattainable fantasy. It is a powerful and beautiful metaphor for the ultimate state of mastery for a conscious verbal creator. It is the state where you have become so completely aligned, so vibrationally clear, and so absolutely certain in your creative power that the time lag between your spoken word and its physical manifestation collapses into near instantaneousness. It is the profound and beautiful state of being where your word literally and immediately becomes your world. This final chapter is about the glorious culmination of your entire transformative journey. It is about moving from the conscious and deliberate practice of speaking things into being to the effortless and natural state of being a person whose very words are spontaneously and consistently creative. This state is achieved when your default, habitual state of being, your energetic set point, is so completely and consistently aligned with the high frequency of abundance, love, and well-being that there is no longer any significant counter-vibration left within your energy field to delay, distort, or deny your creations. The doubt, the fear, the worry, and the limiting beliefs, the pervasive static we have worked so diligently to clear, have become so quiet and powerless that your spoken commands are broadcast on a crystal-clear, high-fidelity, open channel with virtually no interference. In this elevated state, manifestation ceases to feel like a technique you are applying and becomes a natural, joyful, and spontaneous expression of who you truly are. When your word becomes your world, you live in a state of profound and unshakable trust in the goodness of life. You no longer feel the need to constantly control outcomes, force events, or micromanage the universe because you have a deep, cellular, and proven knowing that the universe is your devoted partner, your most loyal ally, and your dearest friend. Your fundamental relationship with life shifts from one of effort, push, and struggle to one of profound grace, effortless flow, and joyful, conscious co-creation. You will notice that your needs are often met even before you have fully formed the conscious verbal request. You will think to yourself, I could really use some guidance on this project. And minutes later, a friend will call out of the blue with the perfect idea, or you will stumble upon an article online that contains the exact answer you were seeking. You will casually say to a friend, it would be wonderful to have an extra $100 this week, and then you will find it on the street, receive it as an unexpected rebate, or have a client pay an invoice early. These events are no longer surprising synchronicities to be marveled at. They become the normal, expected, and everyday rhythm of your beautiful life. Living in this state means you have fully and completely embodied the identity of the powerful creator you declared yourself to be in your daily rituals. You no longer have to act as if you are a wealthy, healthy, and successful person. You simply are one, and your external reality is a perfect, undeniable mirror of this inner truth. Because you know, without a shadow of a doubt, that you are infinitely and eternally well supplied by the unlimited source of all that is, you naturally become an incredibly generous being. You give your time, your money, your wisdom, and your praise freely and joyfully, without any fear of depletion, because you understand on a fundamental level that you are a wide-open channel for abundance, not just a finite container for it. You learn that the more you give from a place of genuine joy, the more the universe joyfully rushes in to fill you to overflowing. You become a living embodiment of the beautiful, endless, and self-perpetuating cycle of prosperity. This ultimate state of being is your birthright. It is the natural and inevitable outcome of consciously and consistently applying the verbal secrets and principles you have learned throughout this book. It is about reaching a place of profound energetic integrity, a state where there is zero gap, zero dissonance between your dominant thoughts, your core feelings, your spoken words, and your daily actions. They are all one coherent, beautiful, and powerful broadcast. This integrity is what allows your creations to manifest with breathtaking speed and precision. This is not a far-off, impossible dream reserved for a select few. It is the destination you are already moving toward with every conscious word you choose to speak. The journey from speaking about your desired world to living in it, and ultimately to being a person whose very word creates it, is the greatest, most thrilling, and most rewarding adventure you will ever take. The composer's hall is ready. Your instrument is tuned. It is time to play your magnificent symphony. You have now journeyed through the entire sacred process of verbal creation. You began by understanding the latent, magical creative power held within your own voice. You then learned to silence the self-sabotaging vocabulary of lack, to immerse yourself in the beautiful lexicon of abundance, and to craft irresistible spoken commands charged with the undeniable feeling of certainty. You have learned how to make this a daily ritual, how to speak with authority to the mountains of limitation in your way, and finally, how to reach the ultimate state of mastery where your word becomes your world. You now hold the verbal secrets to the law of attraction, the complete blueprint to speak your most magnificent and prosperous life into being. Thank you for taking this profound journey of self-discovery and empowerment. We are honored to have been your guide. We hope you feel inspired to use your divine voice to create a world of limitless joy and abundance for yourself and for all. Please show your support by liking this video, commenting with your insights, and subscribing to Success Attraction Formula.